What is up, guys? So since you watched yesterday's video, you would know I got a new, bigger and better turbo for the Black Z. Right here, you can kind of see it. It's wedged back there. You should go watch yesterday's video. It'll make sense. So, as we talked about before, the limiting factor of my engine making any horse puppies is the cams in the turbo. Didn't get the cams in yet, but I got the turbo in, so I threw it in, and now I'm excited to see how it does. It should be all set. I don't think there's any issues. I think the install went pretty smoothly, so we're gonna bring it to the dyno now. I just do a boost controller on it so we can make some, actual boost, and we should be good to go. I'm a little nervous. I think we're all set. I gotta play with the map a lot. For some reason, there's a shit ton more fuel in it than it should be right now. Since, when you tune a car, everything's measured off of airflow. Now the turbo's a different size. The airflow is completely different, so we have to do a quick retune, but it should be easy. So Kenny's at the dyno waiting for me, so we're gonna get this down there, throw it on, and hopefully make a couple extra horse puppies. I want to see 285 to 300 today. That is the goal. If we can make above 285, I'll be very, very happy. And then once we get the cams, we should be plenty over 3. So let's head down. It's pretty crazy because the car honestly has like a whole different tone to it now. It doesn't even sound the same. Well, it looks like I hooked the boost controller backwards because I just over boosted so bad. You guys know this site pretty fucking well. So do you, Kenny.
I was gonna say something, but I didn't want to.
Oh my god.
Round 4, 5.
It's okay, dude. We have learned so much from this car. It's actually been amazing.
We've learned that SRs suck, Nismotronics suck, Zs suck.
Okay, so we've had a lot of trial and error with this car in terms of like dyno time stuff. So it's errors that we will never make again on another car, which is very valuable. I don't even care, like, at the end of this car, I've learned so much tuning with this car. It's been amazing. I mean, you need a guinea pig for everything, and it's been our guinea pig.
This is a fucking huge guinea pig.
Today, we are hoping, like I said, for high 2s, low 3s.
Mid 3s.
It's the moment of truth.
This is it.
This is it. What do you think it's going to make?
302.
Okay. All right, so we have no idea what the boost level's at right now. I threw the manual boost controller on, and it could be 7 PSI, it could be 30, so I guess we'll find out.
I'm rooting for 30.
You ready? Go!
Nice. Did you just do a pull?
You watch,
Yeah.
not log it?
No, the computer's not even on yet.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you ready? And you went like this. He said, are you ready?
And I was like, no.
Oh!
Oh my god. That did nothing, but I roughly corrected the whole fuel map, and it was pretty spot on, so I'm pretty proud of myself. I'm getting better at this. That was a warm-up pull. That was like 13 PSI, so that's good. It's a good baseline, so boost controller's all set. I'm gonna blame Julia for this one. You're the dyno operator today.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Everything is fine.
All right, so red is the last time, and blue is this time. Kenny, something's wrong.
It needs more boost.
No, we shouldn't need more boost.
So we're back. Boost is the answer.
So we're back to this issue.
Yeah, it doesn't make the power that it should. Something is hurt or wrong, but it doesn't sound hurt. And
the tune's there.
it compressed properly. So you got a bad thingamajig.
Devastated, to say the least, but I don't know. Everything's there. The engine's good compression, doesn't smoke, doesn't burn any oil, has a good intake, good exhaust manifold, good turbo, good full exhaust. The last thing we could think of is the intercooler. The intercooler is really small. Don't think it's enough to restrict it this much, but we're gonna find out. So we're gonna bypass the intercooler. Our intake air temp shouldn't be that high. It's not gonna like yield us on the dyno like that. So we're rigging something together right now. I'm out of breath because I've been running around trying to get this to go, but we're gonna see. If it makes the same without the intercooler, it means it's not the intercooler, but I'm hoping it picks up some power because there's nothing to explain why it is making so little power. And I was able to piece enough piping together to make this. This shit looks like a straight up Bisu car right now. You think so?
It looks like our 240 before
we blew it up.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it.
All right, moment of the truth, do I think it's gonna do anything? No. Do I hope it does a lot? God, yeah. So we'll see. We could potentially make more boost this run too if there actually was a clog, so we gotta be careful. Sounded better. Nothing? Nothing at all, huh?
No.
Wow. An hour of me changing intercooler pipings literally did nothing. We got more mid-range. Well, that's a pain in the ass. So we're gonna do the next logical thing, and that's a leak down test. A leak down test will basically tell if your cylinders actually hold the pressure that it makes. Because when you do compression tests, it's just kind of like grabbing the peak pressure that it makes, but the cylinder actually has to hold that pressure, and if it doesn't, something's wrong, and that's usually because of your valves. So we're gonna try it out and see if it holds the pressure and see if my valves are smoked, which could be the, you know, possibility. Perfect. We got the torque steer boys out here doing a leak down test. I've never done one before. Ryan showing us how it's done. So we did the first 3 cylinders. I was too nervous to film it, and first cylinder is like 1% low. The second is perfect. The third is like 5%, if that. But I guess anything under what, 15 you said?
Yeah, anything under 15 is pretty much good.
It's good. So we're on the last cylinder, and this will make or break it. But I mean, at this point, if this would have to be low enough to make it misfire to make that power, you know, make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. 2%.
2%, guys.
You're good.
We're good. So the loss of power isn't explained. Well, this is really good news because I was scared I was going to have to pull my head off and get that all done. So.
You know what this means?
ECU?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time for AM.
Time for an AM. I'll take anything at this point. Fuck. All right, I forgot what I said before, so I'm gonna talk again. So we just did a leak down test, and it came back perfect, like really good. And so the engine itself is healthy. Everything is there, and it just won't make the power. And the only thing that we're holding us back is the cams, but we still should be making more power in the stock cams. The last thing we haven't tried is changing the ECU. I really don't think it's the ECU, but it can be, because usually when you say it's probably not that, it usually is. That's usually how it goes, right?
Unfortunately, yeah, that's how it goes.
So I gotta find another ECU for this. Unfortunately, I just gave my S13 one to Tommy, so I don't have an extra one. But I'll figure something out. I'll make a few phone calls, and maybe you just buy a new ECU, an actual standalone ECU for it. Probably sounds like a good idea, doesn't it?
No.
I am so defeated. Everything is there. There's no reason why this shouldn't be making the power it does. We tested.
Have you tried the fuel?
Have I tried the fuel? Get the fuck out of here. It feels fine. You know what it is? It's the oil. The oil's too thick.
Maybe the oil's too thick, or you didn't. Did you seat the turbo?
You know what? No, wrong coolant. That's the problem.
Damn it.
So
you gotta use the blue coolant.
The blue coolant. This isn't a Beamer. Get out of here. So I don't know. I really don't know. Last, like I said, is try another ECU and throw it back on the dyno for like the seventh time. Fingers crossed, guys. We got some more testing to do, and watch it be the ECU this whole time. But you know what? If it is the ECU, it has made us make sure that everything on this swap is perfect. And when it's not the ECU? If it's not the ECU, I have no idea. I really have no idea. I'm gonna up the boost to 30 psi, and I'll make probably the power it should make at 14, and we'll just drive it around and lift the head and throw a rod and park the car and put a JZ in it. No, it's not. I don't want to hate on the SR. The SR is a great engine, and it's supposed to be working, but for some reason this one just isn't. The only other thing I can think of is the cam timing. So obviously the cam gears are locked out on a chain with the crank, and that's mechanical timing. And I guess maybe one of my cams could be off a tooth. It doesn't really have the behaviors of a behavior of a car that is off a tooth, and there's no reason for me to think that it's off besides the loss of power. But you never know, and I don't want to play the guessing game anymore. So we're gonna suck it up. Just pull the valve cover off and check the timing, and at least I'll give me a peace of mind and go from there. But you can see the timing marks on the cam, one right there and one right there. I know the first one is supposed to be 3 links from the side of the cover, and then they're supposed to be 11 links apart, so we counted them, and they were 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, and so the cams are timed properly. The cams are perfectly in time, just like we thought. Just like everything else with this car, it's actually perfectly fine, but it's just not doing what it should. So, last thing we could possibly check that we haven't checked so far is trying a different ECU. That is the only thing that would affect any bit of power on this car that we haven't tried a second of. That's crazy. Honestly, it would be pretty nuts if it was the ECU that was doing this, because I mean, we've literally tried everything. That's about it. So you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.